Hello, everyone. I'm a couple of minutes early this week. I think that my lips are probably going to be on tonight. Here's what happened. By the way, I'm Sarah Simon. I'm coming to you live from Appleton, Wisconsin. And what happened was a couple of months ago, my laptop died. And so instead of getting a new laptop, I had on Mac, um, on iMac, and I'm like, I'm just gonna update this. I'm gonna add my ManyCam on, and ManyCam did a ton of updates, but my it wasn't keeping up to date on my iMac. And so I think the reason I had all of the problems with my lips not matching and stuff is, oh my goodness, I got a new laptop last week and downloaded ManyCam. It has changed so much and it looks so different than it did on my iMac. So I had to play around a little bit to figure out where everything is, but I'm so excited to be with you. I hope that everything's matching up tonight. And so that I'm not driving you crazy by, oh my gosh, her lips don't match with what she's saying. We've got quite a few people who've jumped on already. We've got Kathy, and Mary and Kathy Miller. Hello. Kay and Sandy, and hello, Doris and Julie Schilke and Callie Perpich. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I know that I'm just a couple minutes early. Like I said, I was so afraid that when I have to turn my notifications up on this new laptop, I'm getting all the notifications that people are sharing and doing all that stuff, which is awesome. Thank you so much. But I jumped on a few minutes early just in case I had any problems at all. I wanted to make sure that I could work them out. I am on YouTube and I am on Facebook. So if you have problems with Facebook, you can catch me on YouTube and I will try to keep up with the chat on both of them. I have both of them open right now anyway. So we'll see how that works. Um, I have some happy mail to share with you. So this week I received this card and it says wildly grateful and it has those beautiful dragonflies that are stamped on she stamped them on vellum. And then this little background, those little blotches, that was from a celebration. I don't know if it was the last celebration or the one before that. But this is from Kim Metalman, and she was thanking me for a prize that she won that I sat on for probably 2 months before I finally got it to her. She came to my stamp sale, and I'm like, Kim, I was going to drop this off at your house. I never got over that way. So here is your prize. I still had her name on it. I knew it went to her. She just got it a little bit later. So, all right. Thank you for those of you that shared. So that is our happy mail. A couple of things. This is any last chance products from the January through June mini cog. The end of June is on Thursday. So go ahead and check. Some of the stuff has been marked down. Some of it is sold out already. I am using new product from the annual catalog, and I'm going to do a sneak peek tonight of one of the stamp sets from the upcoming July through December. It used to be called the mini catalog, but we're going to do the same fold for both cards, but a totally different look on the cards. So anyhow, I want to let you know of a couple of things that I have going on. So on Friday, I am heading up north for 2 weeks. I am so excited to get away. I think my job is finally at the point where I can get away from my job for 2 weeks and not feel like I have to check in every day or that people are going to be calling me while I'm at work. I'm trying to take care of a whole bunch of things that I know people are going to be looking for before I leave. And so I'm just excited to get away. I don't think I'm going to be taking my camera, my phone holder, and everything to do a Facebook Live. But you never know. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll change my mind and decide I can't go without having a Facebook Live for 2 weeks. So maybe I will pop on with a second week or something and share some of the things that I made for my swaps. I have been working on swaps nonstop. God bless my mom, because this weekend I was up at the cottage and I had 4 stamp sets that I had to make cards with. One of them I had to design 4 cards. It's hard to do 4 different looking cards, get a totally different feel and things like that. And so she was helping me, and the creative juices were just not flowing for me. I said, Mom, I just don't feel creative at all. And I brought a whole bunch of swaps that I received, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to case this. I'm going to make something like that. And so I brought all of that stuff along, and it worked and worked and worked and worked. I designed 2 cards, and she helped me to make those for the swap. So I have 80 cards that are made ready to go in the mail for swaps. I have 1 card that I designed last night, and I have to make 8 of them yet tonight before I go to bed. And I'm going to be putting my 88 swaps in the mail tomorrow to go to Fond du Lac. So I have it all done. They're not due till July 6th, but they're going to be going in the mail, or yeah, they're going to be going in the mail on June 29th. So I've got plenty of time to get them there. So let's see. While I am gone, and because it is the 4th of July, I'm going to try to pull this up here on my screen. I am going to be having a firecracker promotion. So what that is, while I am gone, so from July 1st, when my vacation starts, it doesn't start until in the afternoon, but anytime on July 1st through July 17th, while I'm on vacation, if you place a $75 order, you will receive the following. You will get a PDF with 6 cards that's using product from the mini catalog that's coming out. So those have fun folds in them. It's not just one bundle, but it's a variety of different bundles that are out there, things that I have made for swaps or for other things. And you will get a PDF that includes the directions on how to make all 6 of those cards. You will also get a pack of festive pearls. You can find that on page 31 of the July through December mini catalog. You can also, any order over $50, remember you earn a celebration item. So you'll be getting that celebration item when you place your order. And you will also be entered into a drawing that I will do on my next Facebook Live when I'm here after my vacation to win a shopping spree of $25 that you can pick whatever you want from any of the catalogs. Okay, if your order is under $150, I have my hostess code there. It'll be on all of the frames that I jump on tonight, so that if you don't have it copied down right now, you can get it. I will also be putting this graphic on my Facebook page so that you know what the firecracker promotion is while I am gone. Okay, so if there's something in that catalog that you wanted, this would be a really good time to order it. All right, let's get to some prizes before we get to stamping. So last week we made this card right here using those fabulous frames and that stamp set with the really big greetings. Couldn't figure out the word there. And then that paper that is, if you are a hostess, you can earn that paper. So if you place a $150 order, you will get to be able to get this paper, plus you would get three celebration items. So this was one of the cards we made. We also made this little hippo card that had the fun fold that opens like this. All right, and it has the little water splashes on it. He looks like he's underwater, like swimming in his little bathtub. And for commenting last week and going to be receiving these in the mail is Marcia Cullibert. So Marcia, I think I saw you on here. Yeah, it says to have a good vacation. Thank you. I'm going to enjoy my full weeks, and you are going to get to enjoy these cards. I will get those in the mail to you. And then for sharing. So if you hit share and share this on any Facebook page that you have or private message or anything like that, make sure in the comments you tell me that you share, because like last time, I think I had 18 people that shared last week, and only I think 6 of them showed up in my comments. So I had to go, or in the where it says who shared. So I had to go through all the comments, and I wrote down all the people that wrote that they shared. So receiving this ribbon, and I'm going to show you a card that I made that has this ribbon on. This is from the Splendid Day, I think it's called. it's almost like a sheer ribbon. It's called seam binding, but it is in, it looks on here like it's in the Parakeet Party, but it's actually really, really soft, and it's the soft sea foam. So it can be more of a, I don't know, pastel-y type card. So this is the stamp set, the paper, and that ribbon is on there. So receiving this for sharing is D. Esplana. So D, I will get this off in the mail to you as well. And then I had quite a few ladies take advantage of that free shipping day last week. So for placing an order and receiving an early edition of the Hippest Hippos is Cindy Winkleman. So Cindy, I will be getting this off to you. I think your grandkids were really going to love cards made with this little hippo. All right. Before I flip around and we start stamping, just a reminder, these are the two catalogs. If you do not have one of these and you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, or if you have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator but you didn't get one, send me an email or send me a private message on Facebook, and I would be happy to get that and this catalog off in the mail to you so that you have them for ideas. And also on my Facebook page that you're on right now at the top, there's a shop now. If you click that, it'll take you to my store to shop. I wanted to point out one more thing, only because I'm not going to be on for 2 weeks during Celebration. And so I want to make sure you know this. If you join my team during Celebration, you get this wonderful planner, which is, I filled mine already with some of the pages, and it's a Stampin' Up! Planner. Also with it come these 3 different notebooks. So this one has like little squares. Can you see that? And then this one is lined paper. And then this one is just plain paper. So you get those. It has all these wonderful stickers you can put in the planner. It has more sheets that you can add. It goes from July of this year. Whoops, I don't know why my video was interrupted there real quick. It goes from July of this year until December of next year. So it's like a year and a half almost that you can use this planner, and has all the stuff for it. So if you join my team during Celebration, you get that for free. Now, when I say join my team, you can join as a discount shopper. So that means that every time you place an order, instead of me getting the commission on that order, you would go ahead and get that discount yourself. So if they're interested in that, shoot me an email. I can tell you a little bit more about that. But again, it starts July 1st. It's just July and August that promotion is available. So I wanted to at least bring it up because for 2 weeks, I'm not going to see you, and that's when you could join if you wanted to. Okay, let me go ahead, flip my camera. See, I got to do this a little bit different now. There we go. I'm going to turn my overhead light off. That will get rid of some of those shadows. I think that looks a little bit better. So the stamp sets that I had to play with to make my swaps were this, whoops, there we got a glare from my light, Hello Harvest, which we're going to be using these stamps tonight to make a card that's not fall. So we're not going to be using the pumpkin. We're going to be using this, and we're going to be using this little banner. I also had to use gathered wheat. So I made a card. So you'll be seeing some of these in the PDF. I have to make one card with this. I have it designed. I just have to make the 8 of them tonight. This boughs or leaves of holly. And then I think I showed you this card last week that I made with the jingle, jingle, jingle. So those are the stamp sets that I have been playing with. And in particular, I know Lisa was on here and she said she was having a creative block. Well, Lisa, I'm going to be bringing you 4 cards to add to your display board. And if you like the one tonight, even though it doesn't have the designer paper, I'm happy to bring one of those as well. So I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to show you my inspiration. So when I was at my mom and dad's cottage, I had this card that I received in a swap, and I apologize. I took it out of the plastic bag, so I don't know who made this. But it opens pretty uniquely. It's a gatefold, but it had this opening where these things were on either side. And I tried and tried and tried to come up with a way to use this fold with the paper that I had. And I'm going to be honest with you, it just was not working for me. And so then I thought, well, what if I just take one of these and I put it more in the center? And that's what I ended up doing. But then I felt like this has the designer paper here. I want some designer paper and I like how this is matted. So I've moved my designer paper over to the sides of my gatefold, the panels, and then I moved just one of these into more of the center or upper center of my card. So that is how I went about taking this swap card that I got and turning it into what I'm going to be making tonight with both of the cards that I have. Oh, and this is kind of small for you. I will be posting this afterwards so that you will have the dimensions. So for both of our cards tonight, we're going to be making a vertical gatefold card. So that means you start out with a piece of your base is going to be 5.5 by 8.5. And on the 8.5-inch side, you're going to score at 2 1/8 from each end. That's what's going to make your gatefold. So you'll be left with 4 1/4 in the middle, and your two flaps will come together. I am going to, like I said, I wanted to layer some designer series paper with another color. So I used this Butterfly Kisses paper, which I just love this paper. I decided to use this because the stamp that I'm using from that stamp set is this right here. And so there's flowers and there's leaves in there, kind of like there was on this paper. So I thought I can get away with using this paper along with this fall stamp set. So the color in there is Parakeet Party. So each of these layers, so side panel layer number 1 is 1 7/8 inch wide by 5 1/4 inches. Okay, and then my DSP is 1 3/4 by 5 1/8. Okay, so that is those are the measurements for those pieces, which are going to be on the side. Then that piece that goes across the side. So they had these two pieces. I wanted to put one in the middle. So for this first card that I'm making, I did just 2 layers. Okay, so I did the fresh freesia along with a basic white. Okay, so the fresh freesia is 3 5/8 by 2 5/8, and that basic white is 3.5 by 2.5. All right, I also have some inside layers for the inside of my card. I'm gonna just make sure. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Hi, Aunt Mary. See that you're on here. I usually go on at 6, but I feel that 6:30 is easier for me when I get home from work because I can eat, get the dishes done, take Lila out, feed her, and all of that kind of stuff. So this is 4 by 5 1/4, 3 3/4 by 5. Lila's my dog, for those of you that don't know. That's going to be for the inside. Whew, that was a lot of squirrel right there. I also cut a little piece of designer paper that I'm going to go ahead and put on the inside of that as well. All right, we have to do some stamping and then we will put everything together. So we're going to stamp on this piece right here. I didn't stamp anything on the inside. I should have stamped like the happy birthday like I did. I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Okay, before we get started, we're going to take this stamp and we are going to use something new, something that's in the new catalog. It's new to Stampin' Up. It's not a brand new product, but this is what we call masking paper. So when you want to make a mask, a lot of times if I wanted to make a sky, I would put like punch out a circle on a Post-it note and I would put that down and I would be able to do some blending over the top of it. And then pick that up and then my sun would be underneath it. Sometimes what I want to do here is I want to make this banner be here and I want the flowers coming out of the top of it. And so I want to mask this so that some of the flowers can be stamped like over the top of it after I've stamped this image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mask of this on here. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with some Memento ink. And I'm just going to stamp that. And while I have this out, I'm going to stamp it on the piece of paper that I have. And I want to see if I have, I don't know where they are. I did have a piercing mat so that I could stamp on here. It looks a little bit better, but I think they're packed from when I was gone this weekend. So I do not see one sitting handy at my workstation here. So we're going to go without, and we're going to hope that this looks okay. It's not a photopolymer, so it should be fine. I'm going to flip that over. I don't know what was on there. I'm going to stamp this a little closer to the bottom. I held it on there a little bit so that it could kind of marinate into the paper. And then what I'm going to do with this masking paper is I am going to fussy cut. Now there is a die that you can use to cut this out. However, the die leaves a white little outline around it. It doesn't cut right up to that line. And when I'm making a mask, I want to cut right up to that line, because if I don't, then my flowers are going to be kind of like floating on top instead of actually looking like they're coming right out of that. I'll show you what it when I actually stamp it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut right on the line. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And I don't really have to be, I mean, I want to be careful with the top part, but the bottom part, it's not going to matter at all. So once I get to that corner, I'm just going to go like this. And I hope I did that on the right side. I did. Okay, so this has stuff that is just kind of sticky. One thing that I've seen other demonstrators do, and I found I had to do it as well. Now, when I made these at the cottage this weekend, I didn't have this masking paper, and I said to my mom, oh gosh, I wish I'd brought masking paper along, but let's just make a mask. And I just cut it out of regular paper, but it's so nice. I'm putting it on my shirt. Oh, I just ripped it. I think I can line it back up, but I'm putting it on my shirt and taking it off just to get some of that stickiness off. All right, then I'm going to bring this back in here. Didn't mean to rip it, but I'm going to line this up so that the line of my stamped image from that little piece of paper is lined up there. And then I'm going to put this in its place as well. Okay, so I'm creating a mask so that I can stamp over the top of this, and anything that's stamped on this paper, I just want to make sure that I don't have any holes here, because I know I'm going to have otherwise some of the stamp showing through. And I got to move that up a little bit. Don't rip your paper. Don't rip your mask. I have my other one here that I could use because I saved it. I put it right in the stamp set so that I have it to use again. Okay, so I have that mask over the top. So now I'm going to bring in these flowers, and I want to go up to the top with the flowers. See how that's going over? Bring it up a little bit. It's going into that banner, but when I tear the banner off, you will not see that it's in the banner. I should have probably ripped it a little bit more, but it looks like it's coming right out of the top of that banner. Okay, so I masked this so that then I could stamp those flowers over the top of it. And it looks like I got a little bit of black, but we'll use our sand eraser for that. And that's all I need my ink for. We're going to color that up with the colors from the paper. So let's bring our paper in here. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Hope that you're enjoying your vacation. Aunt Mary, Eric is visiting me. Brewers are tied, bottom of the second. Okay. I love watching the Brewers in the summer. Okay, I am going to take This is So Saffron, and this is a light So Saffron. There, like I said, there's a die that I could cut this and raise this up, but it really looked nice being right on the paper itself rather than cutting it out. I did had used another. I used that um, greeting for another card, and then I cut it out. But for this one, it just looked better. Actually, no, I didn't. My mom and I were arguing back and forth. She really liked something that I did on Friday night, and I went to bed and I really did not like it. And I said, well, I'm going to go to bed. Maybe it'll grow on me through the night. And I woke up in the morning and I had this idea to do this. And she's like, I guess it didn't grow on you over the night. I'm like, no, it really didn't. I feel like I have to do something different. And then in the end, I'll show you the card that I came up with. In the end, she's like, yeah, you were right. Your idea is much better than what we had. And so I kept what we had. And at some point, I'm going to incorporate it into a card and I'm going to send it to her. I told her that she would see it again. She doesn't believe me, but I do still have it. All right. So I did that in the um, light, So Saffron. And then this is a dark daffodil. And I'm going to do this outline along the bottom in that darker color just to give it a little bit of dimension. And I used the brush tip for that bigger part. And now I'm using the bullet tip so that I can get just that fine little line in there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pull that up so that you can see how that looks. All right, now we're going to color these flowers and these leaves in. So I decided that what I wanted to do is take this darker yellow because these are in a crushed curry. We don't have a crushed curry blend. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this dark daffodil. And I'm going to do all these little round things that I don't know what those are, but I'm just going to color those in yellow just to get the yellow in like we had in our paper. Wanted to get that color in there somewhere besides just this little label. Then notice how this thing that looks almost like a little tulip is in the Calypso Coral. So I am going to take the coral markers. I've got the dark and the light, and the light is in the middle and the dark is on the outside in this DSP. So I'm going to color it the same way. So I've got one of those that's showing. Now, if I had stamped this down a little bit and could have put more of the flowers on top, there's another one over here that could be colored in the same way. But on this one, I don't have it. I didn't have it low enough to grab that. So each one might look just a tad bit different depending on how low you stamped this to begin with. I stamped this a little bit high on this one. It could go quite a bit lower. All right, and then we have these, the big color that's in here is that fresh freesia. So I'm going to color these other flowers in fresh freesia, and it has the dark on the outside and then the light on the inside. So I'm going to copy that. I normally do the light on the outside and the dark on the inside, but I wanted to kind of follow the pattern that's in there. So this is one of those flowers right here that's popping up just a little bit of it. And this is one. And that's one. And then we've got this one that's a full one here that we can color in. And I know it's hard to just watch somebody color. My mom said, I could sit and watch you color all day. I'm like, oh gosh, I think that's boring. I usually like to have that done, but sometimes people like to see how easy it is to color something in. And I'm going to color in, those are a couple of the leaves down there. And then I'm going to take my soft or my lighter one and I'm going to color in the center with the lighter one. And then there are like some little dots of blue in there. So I'm going to bring this in here just to go over some of those dots in blue, which I'll hold that up so that you can see that a little bit better. Okay, now we have to add our parakeet party, and I can't remember if I used the dark or the light, so I'm just going to pull out the dark. And I'm gonna, all of my little leaves, this is really easy to do, is just to color these in. It's easy to stay in the line. You basically just do one little line with the bullet point and you've got your leaf colored in because they're so tiny. Okay, so I have that all colored in now. You could add a little wink of Stella if you wanted to any of those flowers. I have a little bit of ink down here. Here's my sand eraser. I'm just going to grab this ink. This is just a Tombow sand eraser. You can get these at, I get mine at Amazon. You could probably get them at any like store where you can buy, you probably get them, I'm guessing, at Hobby Lobby if you go in where like all of the drawing supplies are, things like that. Okay, let's get these all out of our way here and let's put this card together. So let me get this out of the way as well. Bring everything in here that I need. And I'm going to start with the base. One little trick, my mom was folding everything for me. And I said, one thing when you do a gatefold card is you want to make sure it comes together at the center. Okay, so to do that, I scored it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold one side in, but the other side, I measured it, but it might not be exactly perfect. And so because it might not be exactly perfect, what I do is I kind of like round this up and I put the two ends together so that just kind of sets right in there. I make sure that the top and the bottom is square. And then I take my bone folder and I go from the center out to the edges to force that fold to be right where it is so that I don't have a little bit of a gap in the center or I don't have them overlapping because you don't want them to overlap and you also don't want to have a big hole so that you can see what's in the middle already. Okay, so that's just a little trick. And then next we're going to layer our designer paper on top of this Parakeet Party. I changed my blade last night because I noticed that I was getting little pieces. It was not cutting real well. So I changed my blade. Oh, what a difference that makes after you do that. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up. Now there's just an 1/8 of an inch difference, so it's just a 1/16 of an inch on either side of that designer paper. So if you line up the three sides, so I usually line up the top and the right and the left, and then if those are equal, if I cut everything right, then the bottom should be equal as well. So if I make the border be the same on all sides when I put the bottom down, whoops, if you put it down straight. And my mom is so funny. When she was with me this weekend, she'd be like, yeah, you use liquid glue, so there's a little wiggle room. She uses all my little sayings that I do on my Facebook Live because she watches me all the time. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue this on one of the panels. Just stand up so I can see what I'm doing. Get over the top of it. Make sure it's even. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. She told me she was gluing some stuff for me and she goes, I know, not a lot of glue, just a little dab. I'm like, yep, that's what I always say. Okay, and then we are going to layer this on that layer of fresh freesia. What I might do, let's do this. I didn't do this on my other one. Let's rough this up a little bit. Let's just take our scissors, our snips, and I'm just going to go over the sides and it's just roughing up the sides a little bit. It's kind of a cool look. All right, I don't know if you can kind of see that, but the sides are just kind of torn a little bit, and you can be a little bit rougher, just don't rip anything. But that is going to go on here. Now on the card that I made, I also flicked a little bit of ink on there. I'll show you what I did on the fall one. I'll give you a little sneak peek of that what I did with the fall card. And then this is just going to go on here. So instead of having a layer up here and a layer down here, I made it into just one, and it's just going to have to be attached to one side. So I'm going to bring in some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put 2 on the end. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to put them towards the edge of where this end is. Because if I try to guess that, I'm not going to do a very good job of guessing, and chances are I'm probably going to get them so that they're on this side. So if I add it to the actual card itself, I have a little bit better luck. Okay, so that is going to go right there. Okay, and now we have to do something on the inside. And I'm just going to add a strip of this designer paper to the bottom. Now, I'll show you what I did on mine. I used a stamp set from a different set that said Happy Birthday on the inside, because this stamp set only comes with that. It has a hello, it has a you're such a blessing, and you are missed as greetings. And none of those really fit with the wishing you the loveliest day. So I ended up putting a happy birthday for somebody on the other cards. So I'm going to just layer this on the green, the Parakeet Party. Just love this color. It's so fun and bright. So this is a very summery card. And then I'll show you the fall card. All right, so we'll line that up. You can put a greeting on there if you would like. And there, whoops, let's add some bling. We're going to bring in our, these are the In Color Opal Rounds, so that fresh freesia is in there. So we're going to put a couple of these. Let's put one of these big ones. Oh, gotta get some putty here. There we go. All right, let's put a big one up here, and let's put a little one. All right, and I don't think I have to do 3. I think 2 would be just fine. Okay, so there, and I'm gonna just grab my Wink of Stella, and I'm just gonna Stella up this flower a little bit, just to add a little bit of glitter. And you probably can't see that. I'll try to bring it up to you. I don't think you're going to be able to see that glitter, but maybe if I hold it in the light the right way. Okay, so there is card number 1 with that gatefold. And I also made one in the coral and the Parakeet Party. I didn't put an inside in that one because I just did it as a sample. And then here is the fall one that I made. So this one uses the Cajun Craze along with the Mossy Meadow, and then this So Saffron. And then look at these amber gems that are there. And I took the Mary Merlot Stampin' Write marker and I just flicked some of the ink on there just to give it a little something so it wasn't so white. And then on the inside, I stamped another one of those little flowers coming from the bottom with the happy birthday. So that is one of the cards that I made with that. This is called Harvest. Hello, Hello Harvest. I can't remember which order it goes in because we had one. Hello Harvest. The Harvest Hello was the little pumpkin and apple punch, I think, that we used to have. Okay, so that is card number 1. And I don't think I put an envelope over here. I will make an envelope and add it to whoever wins this card. When I send it to you, I will make sure that it has an envelope with something, either the floral image or the DSP on the side. So you will get some sort of an envelope to go with it. All right, card number 2, we're going to do the exact same fold, but this one, our front panel is going to have 3 layers. So I have, these are going to be 2 colors, and then this one's going to be a DSP that's going to be a background. And for this one, I only did 1 layer on the inside rather than 2 layers on the inside. Right, and the stamp set that we're going to be using and dies, and paper is Cottage Rose. Have you seen any of the cards out there with this Cottage Rose? Do you have this stamp set already? It is so, so pretty. Has wonderful dies that cut out, the floral images that are in there. I've got a couple of them out from some samples that I made for this because I'm going to make one and then I'm going to show you a sample. This is the Cottage Rose paper. We're going to use this little, look at that. It looks like a little, almost like a ledger. And then on the back is this. And then we have this beautiful image that you could color in or leave it white. And then that image. I'm going to show you a card that I made with this one. And that's on the back. And then we have this, I think is, the colors in this are Sahara Sand and Crumb Cake. Actually, I don't think it's Sahara Sand. I think it's just Crumb Cake and Early Espresso and Basic Gray. And look at that. We're going to use this paper today. I just love that. And then Petal Pink. You can see that. That's striped. And then we've got this one here. Gorgeous, gorgeous paper. That's called Abigail Rose. If any of you have seen the sweatshirts, I have a sweatshirt with this big flower on it, and it's in gray and like an off-white color. Oh, I just absolutely love it. Okay, our card today, the base is going to be Early Espresso. So this is already 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it at 2 1/8 on either end. We're going to be using for our 2 side panels. I've got Crumb Cake. So that's that 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then this is 1 3/4 by 5 1/8 for each of those. Okay, we are going to be using 2 layers. So we've got our, I think it was 3 5/8 by 2 5/8. And then this would be 3.5 by 2.5. And then we're going to take a little bit of this Designer Series paper that had the little lines and stuff on it. It looks like a little ledger paper almost. And that measures 3 3/8 by 2 3/8. And then I have a scrap of this Early Espresso, and I already put some of my adhesive sheets on the back, and I ran this through the Big Shot, but then I just kept it in there so you could see what I did. And then I have some Very Vanilla that's going to go on the inside, and we'll stamp a little bit on the inside as well. So those are the things that I have to make this card. So we're going to go ahead and stamp first, and we need this thing right here, and we're also going to use the inside piece. I'm going to bring in some of the stamps from the set. I also have some of these rustic metallic dots that we're going to use. And we're going to start with our greeting. And I'm going to do that in Early Espresso ink. And I'm going to put it right up in the corner so that I can take that die cut and kind of put it on an angle inside of there. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with the Early Espresso. Now, I'm going to just check if I lined this up on the bottom and I make it straight, it looks like it's uneven, but notice how it's stamping it even. So I just have to line this up straight on the bottom, and I'm going to line that up straight on the bottom. And if I have that lined up, my image will stamp straight. Okay, so I'm just going to have best wishes, and then I'm just going to take this little flower and I'm going to stamp it in the early espresso just down in the corner here. So with best wishes, I could make this a wedding card. I could make it a retirement card. I could make it an anniversary card. I could really do anything because best wishes could really be for any occasion, really. Okay, that's all we have to do for stamping, and we are ready to put this together. This card goes together super fast. I don't have the coloring that I have to do like I did in the last one. And so I'm gonna, again, my little trick is to fold this over and to burnish it. And then bring this in and line this up. Okay, so that meets in the center and that the top and the bottom line up. And then from there, hold it with your fingers and take your bone folder and spread it out or stretch it out. Go out from there so that you get the fold exactly where you want it. Just a little hint there. And if you don't have a bone folder like that, if you ever did Pampered Chef and you got those little pan scrapers, you could always use something like that. I've seen people use that as well. Okay, I'm going to layer this on the crumb cake. I think I can sit down now. You probably didn't know I've been standing up that whole time after I started stamping. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do all this. It's also easier to do the lining up of the paper if I do that too. Oh, Denise, you have this? Yeah, this, if any of you, Kathy Miller, if any of you watch Kathy Miller's Facebook Live, if you don't, and you don't know who that is, it's Cards and More with Kathy. She was on here before. I don't know if she's still on here, but she makes beautiful cards. And I think it was last week. She made just a gorgeous card with this set. And honestly, if you didn't have this set before and you saw the card that she made, you would be like, I have to have that set and I want to make the exact card that she made because it was just really, really breathtaking, the card that she made. And so I think a lot of people that watched her that night probably were like, I got that. I have to get that set. So, again, Cards and More with Kathy. I will promote her because she does wonderful work and you will not be disappointed going to her Facebook page and watching her Facebook Lives. She's usually on, I think, every other Wednesday, Kathy, I think it's been. I think she said this week she didn't know if she would go Wednesday and might be Thursday. She said Tuesday, but then she's like, oh, but Sarah's on Tuesday. She was so nice. She didn't want to compete for people, but everybody can always go back and they can watch later. So isn't that gorgeous? Look at how that paper just does all of that work. I didn't have to do a whole lot for that. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the inside. And got that ready to go. And I'm not putting a greeting on it just because, oh, I didn't do a very good job of lining up. See how you can see that white between there? I should have, and I might be able to, let's see if I can fix it yet. I'm going to try to bring it right into center and see if I can fix the fold a little bit. You got to really hold it tight when you, sometimes once that crease is made, it's hard to go back and fix it. It's going to have just a little bit of a white showing through. It is what it is. All right. I must not have held it real close or tight when I was taking my bone folder and going out to the edge. So see, Mom, I made a mistake. She was all worried that she was going to screw that up when she was doing it for me. And I'm like, you will not. You will be just fine. I kept saying to her, this swap that I'm in, it's really, really picky. Like everybody does really, really good work. And, like it's top-notch stampers. And I always feel like I can't make any mistakes. I don't put anything in there if there's any little ink that got on something because the quality of swaps that I get are just phenomenal. And I want to make sure that I'm contributing and making what I'm giving them is equally phenomenal. Okay, then we're going to take this, we're going to pop this out of there, and know if I'm going to need my take your pick tool or if it's going to come out. Nope, I think it's going to come out for me. Okay, so that came out pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and peel. I put that adhesive sheet on the back so that I don't have to worry about gluing this. And another nice thing about that is that all these little extra pieces that are still inside the flower, a lot of times when I pull that adhesive sheet off, it pulls all those things out with it. So it looks like I just have one little thing that I have to get out here, right there. Okay, otherwise the rest of it came out. And I'm just going to put that right there. I don't want them overlapping, so I just want to put one. There we go. Ooh, best wishes. And look at how that floral image, I didn't stamp that. It's just right on there. Super easy to add. I just had to quickly run it through my stamp and cut and emboss machine. And now I'm going to add this to the front, and then we'll add a little bit of bling and we'll add a little bit of ribbon to this one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add my dimensionals there. And again, I'm going to add them towards the center here. Take those off. And I'm not really centering this. It's a little bit up from center probably. There's a little bit more on the bottom, but I am centering it left to right. Okay, so that will open there. Now let's take our bow maker. This 10-second bow maker I bought online. You can just Google 10-second bow maker. It is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that sells them. And I like to support other demonstrators with different things that they're doing as well. And so basically I'm wrapping this around here twice because I want to make a double bow. I'm taking whichever one I'm putting over the top, I'm then going to bring to the back and get it so that I'm in the middle of that and then just tie it in a knot. And that makes perfect bow. Okay, and these little pegs actually for storing it, there's little holes on the side that you can stick them in and it stores just flat like that. So I've got two of them sitting here by my desk. Don't ask me why I need two of them by my desk. I have two of them for when I do classes. I'm going to leave these a little bit longer and I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to kind of curl the edges of that bow just to kind of give it a little bit of something. You can also, if you don't have a bow folder, you can just kind of wind that around a pencil and that would work as well. I'm going to get some glue dots. Don't ask me why they're in this box. I don't know why I keep putting them back in the box. I put them where I'm supposed to. My mom's like, you know, if you just clean up after yourself after each one, you wouldn't get such a mess. Because we had a mess on Saturday. I said, see how it just gets messy so fast? And then we couldn't find anything because nothing was in its place because it didn't have a place there at the cottage. So I'm just going to put this in this little spot right here on the stem of that flower. So I'm going to put my glue dot where I want it to go, and then I'm just going to press that center of the knot right into that glue dot. Okay, so that's going in there. I might just trim these up a little bit. They're a little bit long yet. Okay, and then I have these rustic metallic dots that look really nice with this as well. And I'm gonna use a couple of different sizes. So I put my best wishes up a little bit more from my sample. Let's see where we want this. Let's put that up there. Whoops. I kept my putty right with it. Goodness gracious. I get my putty. And let's do a couple of little ones maybe down here. I put my best wishes in a different spot on my sample that I made. Okay, you could also put those dots probably in the flower itself. Okay, so best wishes. And now I just have to add a greeting. Happy anniversary, happy retirement, write a message, whatever the case might be and what I'm using this for. So here's the other one. I put the best wishes down a little bit more on that one. So if you like that, I kind of do like that. I think I stamped it here first, and then I'm like, I don't like that. And I changed it, and I kind of forgot when I was making my one tonight that I had changed that. And then I also did this one with different paper and with a different flower. And it says, feel better real soon. And then on the inside, I did that same little flower. And here I layered the early espresso with the very vanilla. And this one I had to, because this flower was bigger, I had to make this panel on the outside a little bit bigger than the other ones were. See how it's just a tad bit bigger? I think it's the same width. I just made it like a half an inch maybe longer. Okay, so that it could fit that whole flower on. And then there's a die for this. So this is early espresso on crumb cake. And then I just went ahead and used the die to cut that out. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 cards, all with that exact same fold. All that came kind of from what I wanted to do was make a fold like this, and I just had to alter it a little bit and move the DSP to the side. And instead of having 2 of these that overlap like this, I ended up making just 1. But isn't this a cute card too? I still would love to make this card sometime. It just didn't work with the paper that I had. It was just too busy for me to, I had this on there, and it was getting to be too much. So I ended up making it a little bit different. So, all right, I'm going to come back to you. I'm not going to have much light on me. Oh, I have big light on me, but not my overhead light. Okay, so again, I do have the firecracker promotion starting on Friday. If you got in here a little bit late, if you place an order of $75 between July 1st and July 17th from my store, you will receive a PDF with 6 cards using product from the new mini catalog, a pack of festive pearls, which you can find on page 31. It's red, green, gold, and silver, all your needs for your Christmas cards. And you will earn a celebration item because anything over $50 earns a celebration item. And you will also be entered into a drawing to win a $25 shopping spree. If it's under $150, use the code that's there, that hostess code that's been on all of my things. If it's over $150, don't use that hostess code because you will get the benefits. You will get 10% of your sales. So if it's 150, you will get 3 celebration items, and you will also get $15. I got to turn this down. This is really, really bright. You will get, there we go. You will get $15 to spend in hostess benefits. And so you could go ahead and get that fun paper or any of that kind of stuff. So, all right, ladies. And I think Todd was on here before. A friend of mine had jumped on. I saw him on there. I don't know if he's still on. But thank you so much for joining me tonight, spending some time with me. I enjoyed my time with you. I am going to enjoy my vacation. I don't know if I'll pop on. If I do, I'll give like a little announcement ahead of time that, yes, I'm going to pop on and show you some of my swap cards. Or I might make one of the swap cards, who knows? But I don't right now foresee that happening at the cottage. I don't know if the internet is as good as the internet I have here. So, oh, that light is really awful. All right. I am going to call it quits for tonight. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in about, actually, it'll be 3 weeks because I won't be here next week or the week after because I'm gone for 2 weeks, and then I'll be back the Tuesday after that. So I'll see you 3 weeks from today. Have a great 4th of July. If you're traveling anywhere, be safe. I hope that you can find some time to be with your family and relax.